A daughter asked the local priest to come by and pray with her father, who was ill. When the minister arrived, he found the man lying in bed with his head propped up on two pillows. An empty chair sat beside the bed. The minister assumed the old fellow had been informed of his visit. "I guess you were expecting me," he said. "No, who are you?" said the father. The priest told him his name and remarked, "Well, I saw the empty chair and figured that you knew I was going to show up." "Oh, the chair," said the bedridden man. "Would you mind closing the door?" Puzzled, the priest shut the door. "I've never told anyone this, not even my daughter," said the man. "But all my life, I've never known how to pray. At church, I used to hear the pastor talk about prayer, but it went right over my head. I abandoned any attempt at prayer," the old man continued, "until one day, 4 years ago, my best friend said to me, 'Johnny, prayer is just a simple matter of having a conversation with Jesus. Here is what I suggest. Sit down in a chair and place an empty chair in front of you. And in faith, see Jesus in the chair. It's not spooky because he promised, 'I will be with you always.' Then just speak to him the same way you and I are doing right now." So I tried it, and I liked it so much that I did it a couple of hours every day. I'm careful, though. If my daughter saw me talking to an empty chair, she would either have a nervous breakdown or send me off to the funny farm." The priest, deeply moved by the story, encouraged the old man to continue his journey. Then he prayed with him, anointing him with oil, and returned to the church. 2 nights later, the daughter called to tell the priest that her daddy had died that afternoon. "Did he die in peace?" he asked. "Yes, before I left the house about 2 o'clock, he called me over to his bedside and told me he loved me so much and kissed me on the cheek. And when I got back from the store an hour later, I found him dead." But there was something strange about his death. Apparently, just before Daddy died, he leaned over and rested his head on the chair beside the bed. "What do you make of that?" The priest wiped away a tear from his eye and said, "I wish we could all go like that." All of us have conversations every day, whether it's with our families, a friend, someone at work or school. Some conversations are short and others are longer. Many are just about trivial matters. What did you do today? How was work or school? Others take a different type. Some are inquisitive. How did you make that? Others are instructional. This is how I make my squash spaghetti. Some take a corrective tone. A mother might warn a misbehaving child, "Do that again, and you will feel the consequences on your bottom." My son Bo and I have conversations of a different approach. It's more of a debate. Our political views are extremely far apart. Each one of us, though, needs to keep a running conversation with the Lord. You recall last week in the first reading, 3 strangers showed up at Abraham's tent to tell him he was going to have a son. This week, the 3 are back, and Abraham knows that one of them is the Lord. The Lord has told Abraham that he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham starts a conversation with the Lord. He said, "Will you sweep away the innocent with the guilty? Suppose 50 are innocent people. What about 45? What about 20? 6 times Abraham questions God. It started off as an inquisitive conversation, but Abraham's motive is easily to spot. He's trying to persuade the Lord to change his mind about destroying the city. God doesn't say to Abraham, "Look, enough is enough. Don't push your luck." Or, "Abraham, I have a schedule to keep. What do you want? Get to the point." God doesn't say, "Hey, I've got to go." No, instead, God quietly listens to his friend, and eventually when Abraham takes a breath and quits talking, God answers. Jesus does the same thing with us, to our requests, to our questions, to our complaints, and even to our anger. We may not hear a reply with our ears. We may not think he's even listening to us. But he promised that he would always be with us. He tries to help us understand why things happen. He wants to give us what we need, and he wants us to find comfort in him. In our gospel, Jesus tells us to ask, seek, and knock. When something is important enough that we continually ask, he tells us we should expect to receive. When something is important enough that we continually seek, we should expect to find. When something is important enough that we continually knock on God's door, we should expect him to open the door for us to know how to obtain it. The father in my opening story claimed not to understand how to pray, but he couldn't have been more wrong. He did exactly what the Lord wants from us. He wants us to go and stay in touch with him. He wants to hear from us. He wants us to set a chair for him. And I found a poem I thought I'd read to y'all today. It's called The Difference. I got up early one morning and rushed right into the day. I had so much to accomplish, I didn't have time to pray. Problems just tumbled after me, and heavier each came. Why doesn't God help me, I wondered. He answered, you didn't ask. I wanted to see joy and beauty, but the day toiled gray and bleak. I wondered why God didn't show me. He said, you didn't seek. I tried to come into God's presence. I used all the keys at the lock. God gently and lovingly chided, my child, you didn't have to knock. I woke up early this morning. I paused before entering the day. I had so much to accomplish that I had to take time to pray.